Well, that sure could have gone better. But I'm sure the next adventure will be less, what?
Looks like that oh-so-positive Ragatha charm is starting to wear off, huh? Yeah, there's nothing more fun than being back in school.
Just give it a chance, Jax. Jeez.
Do you have any actual friends?
Not anymore. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I wasn't talking about that. That wasn't meant to be, hey, Kinger!
How many yesterdays are between us now? How many yesterdays are between us now?
Ha! Get owned!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ah, she's cool. Like, we're stuck in... Why are you always pretending everything's always fine? Like, if you tell someone they're loved and appreciated every day, it kind of loses all meaning. It just feels like she's trying to take advantage of you, you know? I don't know.
We carried it on.
Wow, the first steps of a budding friendship. Right, Ragatha?
Calling miles as we go. A line at a time, or a sad swan song. Offering
I think we all need to be a jerk sometimes.
Oh, look, Gangle's up to bat. How do you think this is gonna go?
Would you stop trying to force her to act like you?
Oh, yeah, I should force her to be happy all the time instead, right?
Well, it's better than turning her into some insensitive jerk who deflects everything.
I can think for myself, guys.
Hey, I ain't forcing anything on you.
And then you just act like you never do anything wrong and everybody loves you, when in reality you just f everything up for everyone else!
Okay, let's, calm down a bit.
What? You're the one who said it's fine to be a jerk sometimes! Ugh. I'm sorry, Pomni. That wasn't very cool of me.
It's fine.
No apologies for me? This is so sad.
I'm sorry, Jax, for bringing up that thing earlier.
How many yesterdays are between us now? How many yesterdays are between us now? I have been so excited for these episodes to come up. I'm so glad I can finally talk about this one. Untitled is so good. Throughout the earlier episodes, we have had this conflict between Ragatha and Jax, and it all culminates to this episode. Let's get to it straight away. We are now talking about episode 5, Untitled. The gang comes back from another adventure. Given a point to Stagnant Life, Kane fixes Gangle's mask and checks up on them to see if they're all okay. A point for Kane. Ragatha tries to look on the bright side of things, but fails completely. This leads to Jax coming over and asking if the positive Ragatha charm is wearing off. 2 points for both of them, and also a point to things are not as they seem. Then Pomni notices a strange mannequin in the distance. 1 point for Pomni. While Kane is looking at his notepad, Zubul antagonizes him, and this angers Kane to where he threatens Zubul, and then when Zubul once again antagonizes him, he brings everyone else over so that he can tell them his other ideas for adventures. I'll be giving 2 points to Kane here, and I'll be giving a point to Things Are Not As They Seem. While Kane is giving his pitch, Zubul and Pomni both reveal that they liked the adventure we saw last time. I'll be giving a point to each of them, and I'll be giving another point to Zubul, because I'm giving Kane the idea to leave all the adventures open for them to go into, which Kane denies. I'll also be giving a point to nihilism versus existentialism, as Kane is showing that he cares about them and their opinions. When Ragatha says that his adventures are a bit dark, he asks about intrigue and stakes. So he sees his adventures like how we would see a movie, but he doesn't understand that people don't want to be in those situations. They like to watch it, but not be in it themselves. Kane then zips Zubul's quote-unquote mouth to shut them up, and then also comes up with the idea of a lightning round for the suggestion box adventures, and forces all the players to join the adventure immediately. In the first suggestion, all of the other characters besides Jax are animal characters. Jax is a poacher going to shoot them all. We can see how much Jax's treatment of them shapes how they view him. And I gotta say, letting everyone be able to vote on skipping the adventure was a great idea from Kane. I'm gonna give a point to him for that. I'm gonna give a point to Zubul for starting the vote, and I'm gonna give Jax a point as we see more of his horrible side. I'm gonna give a point to Love and Hate because of Jax's treatment of them and how it affects their view of him. And I'm gonna give a point to Not As Things Seem, as Kane is able to make Jax a vegan, able to modify his mind. Also, how the heck did Zubul know they could do that? At the start of President Pomni, Jax is being a bit weird here. The fact that he made an adventure specifically about Pomni, he made a suggestion after Pomni was brought into the circus. And then he's dressing himself up as an Australian, which was the same accent that a little NPC had that Pomni was very fond of. 2 points to Jax, and a point to Things Are Not As They Seem. While Pomni is trying to disarm the bomb, there's this sense of the theme nihilism versus existentialism here. It may not be said, but the way the characters are acting shows this theme. I'm gonna give Ragatha a point because of her change in attitude once Jax reveals that there's centipedes inside the bomb. I want to point out that when Kinger tells Pomni to cut the blue wire, she instinctively is about to before he reveals that his favorite color is black. I just find that really cute. I'm gonna give 2 points to Love and Hate in the anime adventure, with Jax, who shows hatred towards Gangle's idea, and Zubul telling Gangle that her idea wasn't bad. Jax shows hate while Zubul shows love, and it affects Gangle in different ways. I'll be giving Jax and Zubul a point here for what I said before, and I'll be giving Pomni a point when she doesn't tolerate Jax's tomfoolery, and I'll be giving Gangle 2 points as we learn that she's the one that suggested this idea, and we also learn she did something to a figurine. When we finally get to stargazing, Pomni finally is able to relax, and she starts seeing something else in Jax, a part that cares for people, and so she starts asking him questions and getting closer to him. 3 points for Pomni. Ragatha in this scene goes over to berate Jax and reveals that Jax used to have friends, and gets flustered when she realizes that she hurt Jax, and avoids it by talking to Kinger. That's 3 points for Rags. Jax here in this scene gets 7 whopping points. 1 for when he shows disinterest in the adventure, 2 when he shows intrigue and care for Gangle, 3 when he says that Gangle likes it when he's mean to her, 4 when Ragatha revealed that he had friends, 5 when he explains to Pomni how he feels about Ragatha, and 6 and 7 when he believes that he had a tail and then realizes he doesn't anymore. We got 3 points for nihilism versus existentialism. 1 when Jax talks about Gangle and how her hanging out with Zubul won't matter. 2 when Jax tells Pomni that what Ragatha said didn't matter. And 3, when Jax tells Pomni that being positive and kind to everyone every day loses its meaning. The moon comes over to talk to Kane, probably trying to ask him out on a date. That's 1 point for NPCs. And Kane at first seems glad about it until he realizes that they're liking the suggestion box adventures more than his adventures, and so goes to intermission. I'm giving Kane 3 points here. I'll be giving a point to love and hate here, but I will not be able to explain it until we get to a later episode. The intermission is just a fun sequence that Kane randomly put like it doesn't matter. And this intermission, I believe this was purposeful, has been speculated over and over again by people trying to figure out if it has any meaning. So I'll be giving the intermission 2 points for nihilism versus existentialism. I'll also be giving a point to Jax, as at the end of the intermission we see him running towards a door with a frog character, which implies that that might have been one of Jax's friends. Now I'll give a point to Zubul when she stops the intermission to ask Kane why they're doing the intermission in the first place. In the bar scene, Jax realizes that Kane might be lying about not being able to control their minds. Jax also is starting to ask Pomni questions, wanting to learn about her. He also makes up a story so he doesn't have to tell them his actual story. Then he shows possible relatability, what Ragatha said about her mother. And then we can see what could possibly be a fear of corn when Zubul puts it on the bar. That is 5 points for Jax. It's revealed to us that Zubul was a tattoo artist as well as a bartender before she was forced into the circus. She also explored random buildings. There's also hints that Zubul might be hiding something about her life. They also understand Jax's reference, and they hint that they hate Jax, though that was a given. 6 points for Zubul. We also find out that Gangle went to community college for graphic design, dropped out, and never pursued art after that. 3 points for Gangle. We find out that Pomni was an accountant for a supermarket chain, and that when she would get bored, she would explore abandoned buildings and record them and post them online. 2 points for Pomni. Ragatha doesn't know what Jax is referencing, which could imply that Ragatha is much older than them. She also reveals that her family was quite wealthy, and her mother was not the best parent. 3 points for Ragatha. Then, the first appearance of one of the best characters of all time, Disappearing Guy! 1 point for the NPC folder. I'll give a point to Love and Hate as we see Jax's actions have affected Zubul to cause her to hate him. Jax then apologizes to Pomni, which is very out of character for him. But then we find out that the reason he's doing this is to become friends with Pomni to get under Ragatha's skin. Then he tells Ragatha that she should be mean sometimes and that they all take the place too seriously. 4 points to Jax. Pomni accepts the apology, so I'm gonna be giving her a point. Rags reacts when she realizes what Jax is doing. Ragatha, not wanting Pomni to become friends with Jax, tries to get her to reminisce about past events that happened, but fails. She then apologizes to Gangle about what happened in the last episode. Ragatha gets 3 points here. I'm giving a point to Gangle for that smile, because it's one little detail that happened for only a second, but it does so much for the character, showing that she has already forgiven Ragatha. I'll give a point to Zubul, because Zubul realizes Jax's fear of corn and uses it to her advantage. I'll give a point to Kane as he interrupts a conversation to go to the next adventure. I'm gonna give a point to More Than Things Seem because of Jax and him seemingly just apologizing, and then we can see that he's just doing that just to get underneath Ragatha's skin. I will give a point to Nihilism versus Existentialism because of Kane putting his feelings over the other characters, and I will be giving a point towards Love and Hate because of Gangle smiling at Ragatha accepting the apology. When they get to softball, Kane reveals the evil Big Tops, evil clones of the characters, but really they're the opposite version of the characters, or what Kane sees as their opposites, which means we can tell how Kane views the characters. I'm going to give 2 points to Kane here. I'm also going to give a point to the NPCs as Evil Pomni curses, which shows that the NPCs does have a form of freedom. I'm going to give a point to Kinger as he's the coach of the group, showing more about his characteristics. I'm going to give a point to Jax when he talks about wanting to kill evil Jax. And I'm going to give a point to Love and Hate because of Kane not giving Gangle an evil clone makes Gangle feel bad. And I'm going to give a point to Not As Things Seem with stuff like the evil Big Tops and the Centipede, showing Kane modifying the adventures that they have suggested. After Evil Pomni catches the ball, Jax compliments Evil Pomni, and they start getting along. Then when he's forced to wear the maid outfit, he gets really angry. A lot angrier than usual. And lastly, when he's forced to go up and bat, he hits it to the Centipede, which the Centipede then eats it, and he exclaims that he is done with the game. 3 points for Jax. Kinger encourages Jax to go bat, and when the ball is hit to the Centipede and the Centipede eats it, he tries to find the right size for a ball and uses Zubal's eyes and throws it to evil Zubal. We can see that Zubal gave Gangle the idea to force Jax to wear the maid outfit. And Zubal pokes fun at him when he's not having fun. I'll be giving Gangle a point and Zubal 2. I'll be giving a point to Love and Hate because of Zubal's actions making Jax angry. And I'll be giving a point to Not As Things Seem as Jax is weirdly angrier than he would usually be by something like this, which is very strange. When Ragatha sits next to Pomni, Pomni tells her that she should be able to show some negative emotions, agreeing with Jax. And she also tells her that she needs to be a jerk sometimes, and then looks at Jax as if she sees something in him that he's not showing her. 3 points to Pomni. Ragatha apologizes to Pomni and says how she doesn't want to be a jerk, and when Pomni tells her that maybe it's a good thing to be a jerk sometimes, Ragatha starts to wonder maybe she should start doing that. I'm gonna give a point to Not As Things Seem, as Ragatha is once again showing a part of herself that we have not seen before. Zubal goes and gets Kane to give them a ball, and Kane listens to her, so I'll be giving each of them a point. I will also give a point to Jax for purposefully getting out. In Ragatha's and Jax's argument, we learn that Ragatha thinks that Jax is purposely trying to make Pomni act like him, and she also talks about how she believes Jax tries to act like he's not doing anything wrong, and then she reveals the reason why she's doing this is because of what Pomni told her about being a jerk. Then she apologizes to Pomni, then apologizes to Jax about what she said before. 5 points to Ragatha. During the argument, Jax reveals that he feels that Ragatha tries to force everyone else to be happy all the time. He also says that he's not trying to force anything on Pomni. He also basically asks for an apology. And when he actually gets it, his mood changes into a more somber tone. 4 points to Jax. Pomni, before the argument, asks about Jax's feelings. During the argument, she says how she can think for herself. Then she tries to calm Ragatha down. She also accepts Ragatha's apology and asks Jax about what Ragatha was talking about. 5 points for Pomni. After here, I think this is where Jax started to actually genuinely bond with Pomni instead of just trying to get into Ragatha's skin because Ragatha apologized. I'm also gonna add a point for Zubul because she put the corn right next to Jax to scare him. I'm gonna give a point to Love and Hate because Ragatha's apology genuinely affects Jax. And I'm gonna give 2 points to Nada's Things Seem, as we see a whole new side of Ragatha that we have not seen before. And we see Jax with a very genuine and somber expression after Ragatha apologizes to him. Gangle the goat hits a home run! And shows appreciation towards Ragatha for helping her out. And that makes Ragatha smile. I'm giving 2 points to Gangle and 1 point to Ragatha. I'll also be giving a point to Love and Hate, as Gangle showing appreciation to Ragatha affects her immensely. When Zubul accidentally hits evil Zubul, Kane treats it as a home run, trying to get the game done early. So I'm going to give Kane a point. Zubul just goes along with it, so I'll give her a point for that. And Kinger is just being the happy guy he is. I'm going to give him a point for that. I will give a point to Nihilism versus Existentialism, as Kane is showing how much he does not care for this game, just trying to get this game done as quickly as possible. When Pomni gives Ragatha a second chance, Rag takes it. When Kane ends the game abruptly, Ragatha tells him how softball doesn't work. Then she looks towards the dugout and sees Pomni and Jax talking, thinking that Pomni had her go bat for her just so she could talk to Jax. And then when she sees Pomni laughing at Jax mauling evil Jax, she gets scared, thinking that Pomni is turning into Jax. 3 points for Ragatha. I'll also be giving Pomni 2 points for when she lets Ragatha go bat a second time, and then when she laughs at Jax mauling evil Jax. I want to mention that a lot of people seem to believe that Pomni did in fact let Ragatha bat for her just to talk to Jax, but I believe she genuinely was just trying to give Ragatha a second chance, and talking to Jax was just a side effect of that. I'm gonna give a point to Jax when he's not a vegan anymore and goes to maul evil Jax. I'm gonna give a point to Kinger for when he congratulates Ragatha for winning the game for them. And I'm gonna give a point to Kane for ending the game early. I'm gonna give a point to Nihilism versus Existentialism, again, because of Kane ending the game early. And I'm gonna give a point to Love and Hate because of Kinger, Gangle, and Zubul congratulating Ragatha. When they get back from the adventures, Kane tries to get affirmation from them that his adventures are better. Zubul and Pomni admits that they enjoyed some of the suggestion box adventures, so I'll be giving the 3 of them a point. Jax talks to Pomni about showing her something in the hallway, and Pomni goes and joins him, so I'll be giving them points as well. And then Rags is split between going with Pomni and Jax or going with Kinger, Gangle, and Zubul, and ends up going to see the latter. And lastly, we see this NPC mannequin with ominous music playing in the background. I'm going to be giving a point to the NPCs. I'll be giving a point to Nada's Things Seem with the mannequin and how ominous he is. And I'll be giving a point to Love and Hate for how Pomni going with Jax seems to discourage Ragatha. And that includes this episode. Ragatha unknowingly pushes Pomni away by unknowingly treating her like a child. Jax, on the other hand, treating her like a normal person, accidentally pulls her in and unknowingly becomes actual friends with her. And that's what I think makes this episode really great. Jax, not even trying, is able to become friends with Pomni. Ragatha, on the other hand, tries so hard but pushes her away because of it. And Ragatha and Jax's hints of a broken relationship really tugs at the heartstrings in this episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the flip side.